I don't walk around like congratulating myself a lot, and I don't beat myself up either. I'm just in it. I'm very present in the moment.
You described that you had a mother who was a fashion executive. Your father ran his own business as well. How did it shape how you thought you wanted to pursue what you're doing now?
I had a seat at the table from the time I was 15 years old. I was able to listen, be a fly on the wall, occasionally participate, occasionally be asked for my opinion. We were always in dynamic dialogue, sort of shaping and creating ideas together.
I read that when asked about what you wanted to be when you grew up, you said a CEO.
I think that was always who I was. That natural sort of ability to convene, ability to bring like a multidisciplinary kind of Renaissance-like thinking around a table and then find a way to make all of that work has been something that I've always been interested in.
You talk so much about creating this connected community. What have you learned about building community across your career?
When I think about community, I actually take away faces and I take away places and I think about the voices. We've been cohorted by our political affiliations, our religious affiliations, how much money we have on our credit card, where we live, what our demography is, and you can go on and on and on and on and on. If you strip back all of that cohorting and classifications and you really get to the basic element of like human beings, just be kind. See people for who they are. Assume best intentions. People are people, and you just have to reach them like where they live.
You said that success doesn't come by asking for forgiveness. What did you mean by that?
If you see something, if you want to try something that hasn't been tried before, or that might be a daring place to go, or that might make other people uncomfortable, but you clearly see it, do it, and then ask for forgiveness later. Asking for permission to people who aren't in your head, who don't see what you see, who don't understand where you're going, or why you would want to do that, might actually slow you down. Be okay about acknowledging your failures, talking about them. Hey, we tried this and this is why it didn't work. But then saying, and we tried this and look what happened.
You've had so many entrepreneurs come through your door. When they do come through your door, what has made you sit up and listen?
Entrepreneurs have to have a few different things in their toolkit. They have to have grit and determination and relentless pursuit of their ideas. They have to be able to have the opposite of that, which is the ability to see the big picture and how to bring the smartest people around them and to be vulnerable to actually say, I actually need help with these things, and that would accelerate. And the confidence to be vulnerable is actually one of the greatest qualities of an entrepreneur, and you don't always see that.
You know, you talk about your sons and your goal to create kind and empathetic people, and that's sort of a vision that extends across all that you do in business as well. But I was also really struck to read that your boys are who helped you decide to take on your role as CEO of the company.
You know, it's funny, I could almost cry thinking about it. They see me in a way that maybe I hadn't even seen myself. I've always focused on being present at what I believed were the moments that mattered, which came at a cost. As they entered high school, you know, I was the head of the Freshman Parents Association and Jacob was going to college and I wanted to help him with all those things. And they said, we're good. And I said, well, you don't understand, like taking on startup, but da-da-da-da. They're like, Mom, if you don't go and run Brandless, it would be like you not raising us. And I remember Jacob, and this is where I laughed so hard, he said, look, I'll tell you what, get it to $1 billion top line and then hire some operators. And I was like, oh my God, you've had too much time at the table. Do you even know what that means?